Hey, it's Emerald Stars. Welcome to another episode of Harvest Block. Alright, let's get to it and have some fun! Tier 5 soil is our next goal since we have our Tier 4 soil. And to get that, we need to start getting into Astral Sorcery. But a key component in Astral Sorcery is this resonating wand here, and it requires a Magician Blood Orb. And that is a tier 3 altar and it requires 25,000 life points. And I'm going to walk you through how I managed to get this orb here. Oh, it's assigned to me now. So what I did, I've done actually quite a lot off camera since I last saw you guys. To make all of these blank runes, you need a lot of these blank slates, which can get kind of time consuming and a little annoying to put the stone in one at a time into your altar. So what I ended up doing was I did a little automation with Ender.io, and I'm just gonna break these out here really quick so I can show you what's going on under here. I put conduits, and on this one I have it set to insert and extract, and the extract I set to redstone mode only, and so that we'll get into that in a moment. And I have basic item filters in it, and those filters are set to whitelist stone and whitelist blank slates. The insert filter is stone, and the extract filter is the blank slates. So that when I put stone, my chest went over here. When I put stone into my chest here, it'll be drawn up and sit in this altar until it becomes a blank slate, and then it will be drawn back into the chest as the blank slate, and it will do as many as you have blood in your altar for, so watch out for that. If you dropped 13 or more into here, it'll draw them all into the altar and not send them back in until all 13 are done. So you need to make sure that you have enough life points to sustain that if you want to convert them all at the same time. So also, when you are making higher tiered items, you want to be able to convert your blank slates up to a reinforced slate. So with the way the Ender.io thing is set up, if you have a blank slate in there, it's going to draw it out and put it into the chest. But you need to be able to let the blank slates soak in the blood. That sounds awful. It needs to be able to soak in the blood and become the reinforced slate to be able to get to the higher tiered items. So that's why I put redstone active mode on that Ender.io thing down there, on the conduit down there. I'm going to go ahead and kill a bunch of these guys and demonstrate. I love this one-hit kill sword here. Okay, now that my altar is empty, if I drop this on there, see you got the red particles going, and that's because this switch right here is set to off. And so the Ender.io cable conduit is off right now. So if I were to flick that lever back on, this guy's out of here, and drop that in here, it would get drawn into my chest instead of waiting and absorbing and converting to the next tier slate. So that was just a little bit of an addition. This lever here is just placed right on top of this rune. It doesn't have any other redstone. It's just right there. And so to get this Magician Blood Orb, we need to be able to have 25,000 life points in our blood altar, and our mob spawner doesn't work fast enough to be able to kill enough mobs continuously to get that sustainably. So we needed to add these runes of capacity here. And they're not too bad of a recipe. They just needed this imbued slate, which is so you put a reinforced slate in, it comes out, or a blank slate in, it comes out reinforced. You put a reinforced slate in, and it'll come out as this imbued slate. And I made another blank rune, and I just went on ahead and replaced all of these around. It increases the amount that this altar can hold by 200, I think. And so when I placed all 8 of these down, it made the capacity of this altar to 26 buckets and 26,000 millibuckets. And so then I was able to get enough mobs, kill them all, have a full altar, and then put my gold block in, and that gave me this Magician's Orb. And just another fun little addition that I did over here. Oh, I need to take those out. I guess it doesn't really matter. I put an absorption hopper here so that it would absorb all of the items because my inventory was getting just bogged up with all of these mob drops. And I ran that, you push this button and it'll send items down into this drawer controller. And then the drawer controller, since drawers kind of create a multi-block when they're all connected, it sends it out into all of the drawers. And I went on ahead and put void upgrades on all of these drawers. The idea was so that these bows would just void out, but I'm not entirely certain that they will go into the same drawer since they have a little the durability on them. So I will have to play around with that and see if I can come up with a better solution for it. Oops, void. Before I rule this as complete. But anyway, that is the setup, and that is how I managed to get the Magician's Orb. So in case you're struggling with that or don't know blood magic very well, like I knew next to nothing about blood magic before I started this, and I've done a lot of deep dive into YouTube videos and whatnot to try and figure out how this all works. Now that I have my Magician Blood Orb, I can start working toward getting this resonating wand so that I can start up with the Astral Sorcery. I'm going to go ahead and throw everything in here. My inventories are starting to kind of bog up, so I'm trying to keep the different mod packs and their contents a little separate just so that I don't have to have the headache of trying to make sure I know where everything is. Clear these iron seeds out of here. Pop those back in. And since Astral Sorcery is going to require quite a bit of this marble, I'm going to go on ahead and harvest up a stack. So I'm going to hit my shift button. Actually put all of this in here. And this is what I do when I'm mass collecting things. I just kind of go through, and it doesn't take long. I usually get until I have the 9 stacks on the bottom filled up, and I'll just do that with whatever ingredient I'm trying to get, regardless of how much I need, just so the next time I go and try and get it, it'll be there for me, and I won't have to deal with doing this every time and resource gathering and placing seeds and getting everything ready and whatnot. It's just there and ready for me, which is why I'm really excited for the cloches to be ready. As of right now, the dev is still working on making them be compatible with these different tiered soils since they're specific to this mod pack, since they're having a little bit of an issue with the soils. The cloche isn't accepting these custom soils, so we can't use those yet. And that was what I was planning for my early automation, since the cloche, once you have this basic setup for immersive engineering going, they're really, really simple to get. And so I'm a little disappointed that those aren't ready yet, but I understand since this is a beta pack at the moment. So hopefully when you're playing through this, then it will have been fixed and you will have been able to use those. So now I've got my massive amounts of marble that I can craft up, and that's so we want this Astral Sorcery marble specifically because this marble right here isn't going to do anything for us as far as the Astral Sorcery mod. It's mostly just aesthetic, like this kitchen that I made over here that's made from just your standard marble. So that's going to require an aquamarine. I really want craft tweaks to be on here so that I could just shift and put them all in there and it would jump its way into the crafting grid instead of clicking them all, but I just barely suggested that to the devs, so it might not be implemented just yet. So I'm gonna go on ahead. Do I have capacity now? Yeah, let's put in an upgrade for that drawer then so that we can get all of our stuff in. All right, and next we need some aquamarine. How many are those? 5 per? I think I actually have a couple stacks. Yeah, so never mind, we're not gonna have to craft those. We just get our resonating wand, and now we're gonna be able to get into Astral Sorcery. And yeah, I did go through and I upgraded my Ender IO stuff, so I have the industrial machine chassis and a couple of the other ingots unlocked. Let's see, the void upgrade, that's what I did for my mob spawner situation over there. And as you can see, I did a ton in this mod since this is what I needed to do to get to be able to progress into Astral Sorcery. So I'm gonna collect all that glowing and we are going to get started working on this Astral Sorcery mod. So the sooty marble, I think I have enough coal for that. Yeah, we're gonna do a decent amount since we're gonna need it, and I'll probably end up having to craft more of that at a later date. So let's see. This one here is what we're going for. Crafting table. And there we go. Because yeah, we also need the Magician Blood Orb for that. So we need it for the wand, we need it for the crafting table. So we definitely needed to get to that point in Blood Magic, despite the headache that was. It took a lot of doing. All right, next we want to progress a little into this mod. I think I'm going to get this mod a little more situated and then come back. So something really quick. We have a decent amount of starlight here now that it's nighttime. I'm not sure if this will be enough starlight to craft the next tier. And let's see, at Astral Sorcery, there we go. So we have these floating crystals, but I don't know if I can get these just yet since they require a lot higher altars. To combat these tables needing light, we can put them up higher, like way, way, way up in the sky, and we will get enough starlight. And so that's what I'm going to do to start with until I can craft those floating crystals. Since Astral Sorcery is such a pretty mod with all of the structures that it requires for your altars to be complete, I want it to be able to be down here in my main area. So I'm going to, until I can get these floating crystals here, which is like way up here in the celestial altar, I'm going to have to go on ahead and build a platform just way, way, way high up in the sky so that I can get enough starlight from my crafts. So I'm going to go on ahead and do that and get a little ways into this Astral Sorcery mod, and I will be back. Nighttime is when the magic happens for Astral Sorcery. As you can see, we have our platform all the way up there. It's at like Y200-ish. And to get up there, I made these elevators, which are actually super simple to make and so very convenient and effective. So they're just an ender pearl wrapped around with wool, and it can be any color you want. You can make them fun colors. I just went on ahead and made the white ones. And to ascend, you push spacebar, and to descend, you push shift. And they're just super simple and no running up crazy staircases to get to your Astral Sorcery platform. And up here, I've got I made a light well, and I made this platform for this. This is actually for the next tier altar, since the luminous crafting table doesn't need any crazy structure, but the next tier will. And so we need this bucket of starlight that we just got. And to get starlight, you just right-click a rock crystal into a light well, and it will fill it up with liquid starlight. So I think I have everything gathered to get the next tier altar, the starlight crafting table. Oh, I need to get a crystal. And drop these down. It has to be a diamond pick that you mine these with. A diamond or more efficient. I don't know what kind of other picks they have in this pack, but at least a diamond pick. So now that we have that, we can go on ahead, and this will be crafted when you hit your luminous crafting table with your resonating wand, and you'll get this particle effect and this light going on. And if you have your structure set up correctly, this will eventually transform into the starlight crafting altar, which is the next tier higher than the luminous crafting table. And I think to get that achievement, we're going to have to mine this up. Yeah, there we go. And put that back down. So the next one is our celestial altar. And let's see, stardust, star metal ingots. Okay, to get the stardust, we're going to put star metal ingots into the sag mill. So that's easy enough. And all of this is pretty easy to get. So I will come back when I have all those resources set up to craft this celestial altar here. Now that it's nighttime and I have all of the materials assembled, I can craft the celestial altar. Let's see. Astral. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, there it is. Way over there. Okay, so for that recipe, we're needing some more chiseled marble. I guess I didn't grab it all. And just craft ourselves up some more chiseled marble. Okay. And we're going to use that and rock crystal. There we go. So for this stardust, I actually wasn't able to use it in the sag mill, since the recipe for the sag mill is the star metal ore that gets turned into stardust. It doesn't accept the ingot to turn it into dust, but if you put the ingot in the crusher, it will turn into stardust. Yes, there is the Astral Sorcery grindstone method, but I already have the crusher set up, so I just went on ahead and chucked two ingots in and got my stardust. So I went on ahead and did it that way. Let's right click that. That's really pretty. I love how pretty this mod is. It just deals with starlight, and I just think it's gorgeous. So we're gonna wait for that to do its transformation ritual here. I don't actually know how long these rituals take. I think it's kind of coming to a close. Things are speeding up a little, maybe. Okay, and this bar is all red right now because I am not using the proper structure for this one. And I really like the Astral Sorcery mod since it has such a clear and concise description on how to make these altars for you. It gives you, oops, this isn't the one I need. Where's the Celestial? There it is. Keep clicking the wrong one. There, way down here. Sorry about that. It gives you very clear steps to what you need. It even gives you a grocery list of sorts, and then if you click this, it'll give you layer by layer what you need to do so that you don't ever get lost. So I'm going to go on ahead and set this up for the Celestial Altar, and I will be back. Here's this altar all finished up, and it's getting some starlight since we're so high up, but it's obviously daytime, so not going to get a ton. And this is the altar that we're going to use to create our tier 5 soils in. However, we are going to need to get these demonic slates, which requires a tier 4 blood altar, and presently I only have the tier 3 version. And so that's going to require a little bit of doing. It's going to require getting those blood bricks or whatever, the blood tiles. And so I think I'm probably going to wrap this episode up here. I don't really have a whole lot more time for recording today, so I'm going to end things here, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode.